You know those free t-shirts you get from school or volunteering events that you never wear? Well, my pile is getting out of control. I've also been playing an insane amount of Tetris, which has caused my screen time to be embarrassingly high. Well, what if I said I found a way to solve both those issues at the same time?
So today, I am going to be making a purse out of t-shirts. I've done 1 or 2 crocheting videos. A bunch of you guys have requested more, so I decided to bring it back. But today is gonna be a little bit different because instead of starting with ready-made yarn, I'm actually going to be making yarn out of t-shirts. She said upcycle, she said thrifty, she said environmentally friendly, because fashion is one of the biggest polluters in the world. Let's pull up some stats. Fashion is the third, the fire trucks are telling you to listen up, this is important. Fashion is the 3rd largest polluting industry after food and construction, and it emits 10% of global greenhouse emissions. That's insane. Releasing 1.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year. That's more than the shipping and aviation industry combined. That's insane. And I feel like the number's only growing now with fast fashion. So I'm always looking for ways to upcycle and use items that already exist to turn into new things. Thrifting is a great way to do that. Thrift flipping is a great way to do that. So I found out about this a couple of months ago when I was just scrolling on Pinterest, and I saw that people were turning t-shirts into yarn and turning them into crochet projects. So today I'm going to be trying to turn some old t-shirts into yarn to turn into a purse. These purses have been going viral on Pinterest and TikTok and Instagram, and I really want to make one for myself because I just love crocheting. It's a great way to pass time, and I've recently been getting more into it, or trying to get more into it, so that Tetris screen time really goes down. It's embarrassing at this point. Unfortunately, the options that I have right now are not ideal color-wise. I do have this black t-shirt, which is an easy color to use. I also have this yellow one, but I do have this gigantic pattern on the back, which I wouldn't be able to use. I can basically only use half of the front. And then I have this one that I really like the color of, but it's not exactly the ideal texture. So I think I'm going to go thrifting for some t-shirts and trying to find maybe like a pastel purple t-shirt, maybe like a beige one. I'll just see what's avails and report back. Currently walking to the thrift store. One of my favorite things about living downtown is I can just walk everywhere. And just stepping out to walk to the thrift store. Like, excuse me, I think I'm a real adult now. I'm looking at the extra large section to get more bang for my buck. Alright, I am back from the thrift store with a little haul for you. I feel like I copped some pretty spot-on colors for what I was looking for. First, I got these 2 white toned shirts. This one is just like a classic white t-shirt. It's gigantic. I can just rip off the front pocket tee so that I can use this whole space. And then this one is more of like an off-white color. I feel like I'm leaning towards this one because it'll show stains less easily, but it's that type of like fast fashion fabric where it's like really see-through. Like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you can see through it and like it disintegrates eventually, but I feel like with the process of crocheting it makes it really strong. So I felt like this kind of lightweight fabric would be good. And then I found this light purple t-shirt, which I was like, this is perfect. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I hoped that I could find 3 t-shirts in this color, but I only found 1. So I think I'm going to mix and match the colors. I'm not sure how many shirts it'll take to make the whole purse, so I'm gonna have to do some planning. But first, I'm gonna throw these in the laundry, and in the meantime, I'll plan, and I'll get back to you ASAP.
Okay, so in order to turn the t-shirts into yarn, I'm first cutting off the arms from the bottom, then I'm ripping off the hem from the bottom to maximize the fabric that I can use. Next, I'm folding the folded edges together, but leaving like an inch of space between the edges. Now, I'm gonna cut approximately 1-inch strips. You can go smaller or larger, but I wouldn't go smaller than like half an inch or else it might rip. As I'm cutting, I'm making sure to cut through the first fold, but not the second. This is super important. If you want to be super accurate and like make sure all of the strips are even, I would measure and draw out the lines with chalk, but I was kind of too lazy to do that, so sorry, lol. Once I was finished cutting the strips, I opened up the fabric and placed it on my arm so it was easier to see. Basically, in order to make this all one long continuous strand and not have to like sew or tie them all together, I'm going to cut diagonally. It's kind of difficult to explain, so it's best just to watch, but I'm gonna continue that throughout the whole thing, and once I'm done that, here is the fun-ish part. You're just gonna stretch stretch out the entire thing to turn it into yarn and to expand the length. This part was perfect to watch a show for because you don't have to look at what you're doing at all. I say fun-ish because I did end up getting blisters from this part. I think I've been getting too yoked lately, being a gym bro and all that, and I pulled a little too hard. But honestly, getting crafting injuries is pretty embarrassing. Hello! I am now finished making my balls of yarn, and I've just been rotting away on the couch watching Love is Blind. This has been a great project so far to like pass time, or instead of like fidgeting on my phone and like playing Tetris, you know? So I've been looking up some tutorials of some crochet bags, but I haven't really found the exact tutorial that I would like to follow for the type of purse that I want to make. So I think I'm just gonna have to experiment and hope for the best. I've been seeing a lot of really simple purses where it's kind of flat and it's basically just like one panel that you like stitch together so that this is a little purse. I don't know if that made sense, but I want it to be kind of 3D, so it's like has like a side and, you know, it's kind of structured. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the front panel first and stitch it together and see how I like it, and then if I like the color combo, I'm gonna kind of continue that pattern. So let's go do that. This feels really different than like regular yarn. Oh, this fabric has 0 stretch to it. I have to count the stitches. I'm not really gonna worry about these hems because I kind of want to go for the rough, untamed look, so I'm just gonna see how it works out. I'm also doing this because I have no idea how else to do it, so I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, I'm gonna kind of use this bag that I already have as a measurement to see how long I need things to be. That looks about right for the base, and then I'll like expand a little bit along the sides and then get smaller. Maybe for the next one I will increase by 2. This is 24 stitches. I should write that down. So I'm making this entire project with single crochets. It's super easy and beginner friendly, which is exactly what I am. Eventually though, when I completed my 3rd row, I realized that the width had expanded and it was now way wider than I had wanted. So my blood, sweat, and confusion for the past 30 minutes had been a complete waste. So I ripped all of it out and went down to 18 chains instead of 24. I increased 2 in the first row and then 1 in the second. Okay, I currently have 4 rows. 4 rows, and I think it's time to switch colors. It's like this. Oh, that's a pretty big chunk because I only have this much left, and I was like, oh shoot, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish the whole bag, but I feel like if I start switching now, I should be able to make it. So I don't want to do like solid color blocking. I kind of want to do like little lines in between and have like little strings poke out too to just give it that like raw, unhemmed look. So I'm just gonna like tie a knot here, I think. Pull this through and then cut it. Ooh, scowy. Wait, let me think. Okay, gonna cut. Okay, and then here, just gonna pull this through to make a little knot. Ow! I have a little like, I don't know if you can see, but I blistered my finger making the yarn, like pulling on all of it. So I've got a crafting injury, which is so embarrassing, but listen, gotta do what you gotta do for the aesthetics. Okay, here it is, the bottom section. Now I am going to start with my other yarn. I'm thinking about just going like, starting with like a little bit first and then working my way up to more of a big section of white. Maybe I'll just have like a 1/3 of a line and then end. I realized later that I didn't need a tie off every time I wanted to switch colors, and I could just incorporate the new yarn instead.
And look as best you could, but I feel like if you ever presented yourself like this,
What?
without any makeup, it would have been better.
So the way I looked made you communicate differently.
It felt like you were fake.
What the fuck? Okay, so I'm like this much through and
I'm running low on yarn. I know it like kind of looks like a lot, but this is not gonna get me through. So I also think that it's not enough color variation. So I just stretched out a whole bunch of white yarn. This is like slightly lighter than this one. So I'm gonna start to mix this in and hopefully that will save me and will look good. I've also been leaving out these little strands, but I'll figure out which ones I actually want to keep hanging out and which ones I'll cut after I'm finished. Let's continue.
This is the first panel completed. I was pretty satisfied with how the design came out, so I did something similar with the second panel.
Hello everybody! It is now the next night. Last night I slept at 6 a.m. finishing these pieces. It was bad. It was real bad. When I get into the zone, I get into the zone. So these are my two side pieces, my little side hose. They look a little bit different, but I kind of do like the different color combos. This is the second one. It's a little like wacky because this side is okay. Well, I don't know. I think I messed up on like the increase and decreases. So this side is really like, really goes out, if you can see that. But that's okay. Like you can't really notice it. I do like the colors or like the pattern of the second one that I made better than the first one. But honestly, they're pretty similar. So I feel like this is a little bit small for a purse, is it? Well, it's okay. It can just be like a mini purse. But now I have to make the side pieces. Or wait, are these the side pieces or do I have to make the side piece still? Okay, I think these are the front and back pieces, but I have to make the side piece slash the strap. I think it's all gonna be one strap. Like if you look at this bag, all just like one rectangular piece of fabric. I don't think I'm gonna make it so complicated and try to like increase here and try to make it bigger. I think I'll just make it all one size because this is only like my third or fourth crocheting project and I am not that good at it, so sometimes when I try to increase and decrease it ends up looking wonky, which is why this one is so interesting is what I'll say. So let's do it. Oh, actually I have to decide like what color I want to do. I actually have the most of this color, the least of the white and purple. I think doing all the same color for the strap would be a little boring. Okay, I'll try my best to like match up the colors like of what's going on here to the strap, but I also want to mix it up a little, add a little bit of visual interest. I don't know. I've just been kind of eyeballing stuff and like doing whatever I want. I could not tell you exactly what I'm doing. Well, I actually could because I took notes, but I'm not exactly sure if that's what I actually did. Anyway, let me just go do that. By the way, I finished Love Island. No, not Love Island. Am I just craving Love Island really bad? I just want to be in the villa so bad. I need to freshen up my accents. I've just been mugged off. Anyway, I finished Love is Blind season 5 and that was crazy. Can we talk about how Uche and JP can please never, well, not that they ever want to meet me, but never be in my line of sight ever. I'm acting as if I would ever actually see them because they live in Houston, but those men scare me and that's why I'm scared of dating. And that's why I haven't gone on a date in like 3 months. No more men for me. I'm traumatized. That's why I am committed to a life of crocheting and watching trash reality TV and judging from far and admiring from Instagram. Peace, love, and happiness. I also got Chipotle. This better be a mukbang. My biggest fear is being with someone, well, I have a lot of big fears, but one of my fears is ending up with someone like Uche, who's like such a big gaslighter, and then JP, who doesn't talk. Oh my god, no, this is actually one of my biggest fears is like silence. I hate awkward silence. Maybe it's the social anxiety, but I find the need to fill like every single silence with any thought. Like any thought that comes to my head, I need to say it out loud. Because if you're silent, girl, it's so bad for me. It's like, I don't know why. If you guys are bad with silence, can you please let me know why? Like on dates, when there's like a little bit of silence, it's the worst thing ever for me. I feel like I'm about to combust. And you know that, oh, you know how like on TikTok people are making fun of the dead face that guys make when they like lean in to like kiss you? I also hate that moment when it's like silent before that moment because I'm like, this shit is so awkward, like say something, like I gotta say something. No, it's just so bad for me. It's just so bad for me. What was the point of this? Oh, I'm supposed to crochet. Let's do that.
Okay, now I'm watching Lost, which is a show from the 2000s, but OMFG. You guys have to watch the show. It's like literally insane. It's gotta be like the best writing I've ever seen on TV. Basically, it's about these people whose plane crashes on this mysterious island, but the characters are so well written and the plot goes crazy. Like those plot twists, you'll never see coming. It's insane. Anyway, I'm currently working on the strap and screaming to the show, but on the strap, I'm alternating colors pretty often to keep it visually interesting, but somebody please watch Lost with me because I need to discuss.
Okay, I'm now done the strap. This is what it looks like. It's got color blocking on it, and I wanted to use more purple, but I actually ran out of yarn. So I still need to sew this onto here, obviously, but I don't have any more yarn. So I'm gonna start making some last strands out of the leftover t-shirt fabric. I didn't originally make the yarn from the top section because it's a little bit more complicated, but you can make yarn out of basically any part of the t-shirt. So I'm not gonna waste any material and I'm gonna cut some yarn out of this, but I don't need that much because I'm just using it to like sew up the last parts, and we're almost done.
I'm gonna start by cutting the sleeves off and then the collar. Next, I'm gonna need to fold it sideways. Then I'm gonna start cutting lines from the folded side but stopping before the edge. And after that, I'm just opening up the fabric, and then I'm just creating these zigzag cuts by cutting the first strip off and then skipping two, cutting there, and then skipping two, cutting there, and then once I'm done that, I'm going to the other side and cutting the lines where I didn't cut. I know this sounds so confusing verbally, but I will link down below the tutorial that I used to make this yarn. It's super easy to follow, better than my tutorial. Anyway, once I finished cutting the lines, I just went ahead and stretched it all out like normal. Now that I have my sewing yarn, the last step is just to stitch all the pieces together.
Hello, with me and my new purse. This is the finished product. I really love it. I feel like it's so unique. I love the colors and it's pretty sturdy for what it is, but I think that when I put heavier stuff in it, it'll stretch more, but I'm okay with that. I think I do need to maybe add like a button or something here to close, like a magnetic closure. But for now, this is it. What do you guys think? I obviously left the threads hanging. Still unsure if I want to cut them or not. Right now, I really like the look of the raw threads. I think it adds a little bit of character, but do you guys think I should cut it? Do you guys think I should leave it? Let me know in the comments. And if you try this out, please send me a picture on Instagram. I want to see your recreations and see what you guys come up with. But my first little crochet purse, all made from thrifted t-shirts, upcycled. We're saving the environment, not having to use new material, so that's awesome. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to stream my new song, Bubble, out now everywhere. And I love you guys so much. Bye!